AITA for telling my friend that her new boyfriend is bad news and she should break up with him. I, 28F, have been friends with Maggie, 27F, since we were kids. We grew up together in a small town and stayed close even when I moved away for college and she stayed to work at her family's business. Maggie has always been kind-hearted, adventurous, and a bit naive when it comes to romance. She's had a few serious relationships in the past, but they usually ended badly due to cheating, lying, or incompatible values. Recently, Maggie started dating a new guy named Mike, 30M, who she met through a mutual friend. At first, she seemed really happy and excited about him. She described him as funny, smart, and caring, and shared pictures of them together on social media. I was happy for her and asked her to tell me more about him. However, as she opened up about their relationship, I started to feel uneasy. Here are some red flags that I noticed about Mike based on what Maggie told me. 1. He's recently divorced and has a young daughter from his previous marriage. Maggie said he's a great dad and gets along well with his ex-wife. But he's not ready to have more kids or get remarried anytime soon. Maggie said she's okay with that because she's not in a rush to settle down either. But I worry that she's ignoring the fact that Mike already has a major commitment that may limit their future plans. Moreover, when I asked her about her thoughts on potentially having children in the future, she said she's not sure and is willing to see where things go with Mike. 2. He's a heavy drinker and smoker. Maggie said she doesn't mind his habits and occasionally joins him. But I know that she's not a big drinker or smoker herself and may be compromising her health and values to please him. Maggie also mentioned that Mike sometimes drinks to the point of blacking out and has gotten into fights before, which she finds concerning but also admires as a sign of his toughness. 3. He has a history of infidelity and lying. Maggie said that Mike told her he cheated on his ex-wife once, but it was a mistake and he learned his lesson. Maggie said she trusts him and doesn't think he would cheat on her. But I'm skeptical given his track record and the fact that he's still going through a divorce. Maggie also said that Mike lied to her about his job and income, claiming that he works in finance and makes 6 figures, when in reality he works as a bartender and barely makes ends meet. Maggie said she doesn't care about money and likes Mike for who he is. But I worry that Mike may be using her for emotional and financial support. When I asked Maggie if she's seen any evidence of Mike's supposed high income or if she's talked to him about his past cheating, she said she hasn't and doesn't want to ruin their honeymoon phase by asking too many questions. I tried to express my concerns to Maggie in a gentle and non-judgmental way. But she didn't want to hear it. She said that I was being too critical and jealous of her happiness, and that she appreciated my input but ultimately trusted her own judgment. I respected her decision and continued to support her. But I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off about Mike and their relationship. One night, Maggie invited me and a few other friends to a party at Mike's place. I was hesitant to go, but Maggie insisted that it would be fun and that Mike wanted to meet us. When we arrived, I was immediately uncomfortable with the atmosphere. Mike had invited a bunch of his drinking buddies and they were all loud, rowdy, and vulgar. They kept making sexual comments and jokes at our expense. And when we tried to change the subject, they ignored us or insulted us. Maggie seemed oblivious to the tension and acted like she was having a great time. She drank more than usual and flirted with Mike, who seemed more interested in hanging out with his buddies than with us. At one point, I overheard Mike bragging to his friends about how he had scored with Maggie on their first date, and how he was planning to keep her hooked with expensive gifts and romantic gestures. His friends laughed and high-fived him, but I felt sick to my stomach. After the party, I pulled Maggie aside and told her that I couldn't stay silent anymore. I said that I didn't think Mike was a good fit for her and that I was worried he might hurt her, emotionally or physically. I cited the red flags I mentioned earlier and added some more, such as how Mike had made disrespectful comments about her weight and appearance and how he had pressured her to have unprotected sex despite knowing that she wasn't on birth control. I also told her what I had overheard at the party and how it confirmed my suspicions that Mike was not a genuine or respectful partner. Maggie listened to me with a mix of anger and disbelief. She accused me of being jealous of her relationship and trying to sabotage it out of spite. She said that Mike had already told her that I was a toxic friend who couldn't stand to see her happy, and that he had warned her not to listen to my lies about him. She also said that she had talked to Mike about some of the issues I raised, such as his past cheating and his job, and that he had explained everything to her satisfaction. She said that she loved Mike and wanted to give him a chance to prove himself, and that if I couldn't support her decision, then we couldn't be friends anymore. I was shocked and hurt by Maggie's reaction. I had never seen her so defensive and dismissive of my concerns. I tried to reason with her and offer more evidence, such as screenshots of Mike's online dating profiles where he described himself as a player and a bad boy. But she refused to look at them. She accused me of invading her privacy and being obsessed with Mike's past, and said that I needed to respect her boundaries and stop trying to control her life. AITA